make the most of it.
It's great. Like you said, the way his career's gone as far as playing time, not playing time, he's always handled it the right way. And he has a competitiveness and a professionalism and a work ethic about him that you always trust no matter when he goes in, he's going to be ready to play. And so I'm really happy for him, and I have the utmost respect for him.
Now that 82 games are in the books, do you take a chance to look back? I know there's a lot to look forward to, but do you take a chance to look back and kind of reflect on how you as a coach have grown over the course of this season?
Yeah, really just a chance to take a deep breath and just have the gratitude and perspective for the position that I'm in and the position that we're in as a team. I think that's really important to have that. It's easy to lose sight of that, especially the way we started out. So I think, I've done that over the last couple of days, and I think just today is another example of that, of, having the gratitude and the perspective, and I think that'll help us prepare and will help us have the proper mindset for the playoffs.
What would you say might be some of the things that going into the playoffs maybe you wouldn't have done at the beginning of the season, maybe things that you've picked up along the way that can help you just as a coach heading into the playoffs?
Call timeouts. No, I mean, I think it's funny, right? Like you talk to a lot of people I've talked to a lot of people over the year to help me get prepared for this moment from an experience, people in different sports. And, as big as the quote-unquote playoffs are, I still think the simple things are the most important. And we can sit up here and talk about sub-patterns and matchups and things that have an effect on the game, but at the end of the day, transition defense, turnovers, out-shooting your opponents, free throw rebounds, end-of-game, end-of-quarter situations. Like today, Peyton handled the end of the second quarter, I think it was, really well. We got to 3 for 2. We shot it at 57. We got to 2 for 1. He shot to 3. We gave up a 3 at the end of the quarter, because we decided to blitz and just didn't make the right rotation. But we ended that quarter, I think it was 7-3 or something like that. So as much as all that, everybody's going to be caught up about, playoff basketball. But, the main thing's the main thing. So how we manage the game, how we win the details of the game.
So now that this part of it is over, what do you think they're thinking right now? And how do you sum the whole thing up as of right now?
Guys are in a good place. I think we, again, our goal was to be a well-balanced team, and we finished top 2 or 3 in both offense and defense. And so we accomplished our goal of maintaining a competitive nature and a mindset about us, achieved our goal of being a well-balanced team. And now we have to recreate just the mindset that we had last year, that we had coming into the season, and that we had throughout the season to play at our best for as long as we possibly can.
Before the game, Brad was up there. He was talking about how he feels like you've gained a lot of sense of control over the course of the year and doing the job, kind of keeping your pulse in the team, both in the middle of a game and just in general. And he was saying how his first 20 games in as a coach, his head was spinning the entire time. So I'm wondering, looking back at the year, did you have that same experience, and how has everything kind of crystallized for you?
I don't know if it was spinning, but you don't know what you don't know. So I think you have to go through certain stuff in order to be aware of it. In my opinion, there's just some stuff that you can't simulate. And so I think my focus was on what's the most important thing at this time. And then along the way, you see some of the stuff that you need to get better at. You see some of the stuff there. You handle each situation different. And so I think I've tried to be open-minded and flexible throughout the entire year, understanding it's not going to go well all the time. But at the same time, I have a lot of good people around me, and we're going to figure it out. And so I think if you can just maintain that open-minded perspective, it'll help you. That's it.
What's an example of something you came in with plan of how you wanted to manage it, and you just had to adjust?
I didn't have a plan. No, I knew we wanted to be a well-balanced team. I knew in order to be to get where you want to go, the last 10 years, the champions have been in the top 10 in both. I think 8 out of the last 10 or something like that, the champions have been top 5 in both. And so I knew we wanted to be a well-balanced offensive team, wanted to really work on situational basketball, wanted to get better at game management, those things I had in mind. And then, I wanted to rely, empower, and have the guys take as much ownership as possible, because it's a very strong locker room and it's their team and they've been through a lot. So those were the 2 biggest goals for me, and stay out of the way as much as I can.
Joe, the players are obviously been looking forward to the postseason, but to get there, you got to play the regular season. Was it a challenge at all to keep the guys motivated, knowing that the real money, the real time, this is it, as opposed to January or February because instinctively they want to get back to where they were. Was there any difficulty in that, and how did you manage a team through the 82 games to make sure that they took all the steps and didn't skip steps?
Yeah, I think the only time I really felt that was like that stretch after All-Star where we had beaten Indiana and then had beaten Philly and then lost to someone after that, I think. And that small stretch between that game and around like the Houston game, we kind of hit a little bit of a lull. And so I don't think there's anything you can do. I think sometimes that just kind of happens, and I just try to be as honest and open with the guys as much as possible, reminding them of what we're trying to accomplish. And I thought, our guys did a great job kind of working out of that. But I would say a very small stretch of the season I felt that way. But other than that, no, not at all.
Will you sense that, are the guys now motivated? Like, do you sense, okay, like are guys starting to, were they getting a little anxious in the final few games?
I think so. I think the way we finished games, the last few games, I think has been big for us. The way we played in the first Toronto game, the way we finished that back-to-back of, was it Milwaukee, Utah? We just had a mindset and approach, a competitiveness about us that you want to have going into a situation like this. And then we've also had an understanding of how we need to play. So I definitely sense that, yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.